Hello, hello, hello. So we're going to take a look at a couple things. I got one big options trade that is going to pay you to sit and do nothing. Right now with the volatility we have, it makes sense to be the one selling options. That's why 80% of options expire worthless. Why wouldn't you want to sell them? So let me fix this because that does not look right. There we go. We need to get in here. So we're going to look at a couple things on the chart. We're going to go over an overall analysis of the SPY, take a look at what happened today. We absolutely nailed our price targets on that. I want to see if I can pull it up here. I don't think I can, but if I could, I would. On Sunday stream, we went through what we can expect for options coming up this week, and we absolutely fucking nailed it. So SPY hit as high as 387. Let's take a quick look at that. SPY hit as high as 388, actually, excuse me. Over 250% on the weeklies that we were looking at on the stream. This made a ton of money. I hope you guys were able to jump in. If you couldn't, I'm sorry. You'll get the next one. Let's go ahead and get rid of this fib nonsense here. We're going to delete these away because we do not need them right now. And we're going to take a look at what we can expect for the SPY coming up. So today we really just traded sideways. We got a little range here settling about 379 to call it 385.59. We saw it's the same range that we saw right here in these couple of days. We want to keep a close eye on this because those ranges are very, very, very important. Looking at the day going forward, I think we are going to see a couple of things happen. Let me try to get this remove. Jesus Christ. There we go. Now we're good. Now we got a nice little tidy chart there for us. So I think in the days coming up, we are going to probably see some range-bound trading, which is good because then it gives us a little bit of consolidation in time to plan our next move. I want to say that we are trying to settle above this range right here. This is really the key area of support that I'm looking at. Call it, what is it, 379 and change. We're going to get rid of that to see it. We got support at 365. That's our main support. We have to see that hold. If we don't, we're absolutely screwed. But what do you think is going to happen next? Well, that's a good question. Let me tell you. I would love to see a test of 375.99, 374.99, excuse me. So just call it 375 because that's simpler. I hate change. You shouldn't carry it. It's dirty and it's loud and it clanks. But if we can hold above that level, then I think we're going to see a little bit of support bounce, a little consolidation. I think we're going to see a really nice move. Again, we want healthy moves here, not ridiculous 800% moves. We don't want that. And are we going to see that on the SPY? No, we're not. But what does this correlate to? So we got that first support range we just talked about 370, right? That's bottom dollar. We have to see that hold. If we're going to stay up at all, we have to see that hold. If it goes below that, put city, my friends. Buy them, buy them, buy them. You're going to make money and sell credit spreads to the upside. What we'd like to see as far as healthy pullback is right around 375. Again, we had a nice support bounce there, and we got a little bit of correlation with these days back here, but it's slightly below. 375 would be nice, healthy. We maybe push up a little tomorrow and come down 375. I'm happy with that. I'll take it. And if we do that, well, the question you ask is, well, what happens next? Let's take a quick look. So if we can maintain that trend right there, then there, that's where where that's going to go. But we don't want to maintain that trend. We want to come down a little bit. Personally, I would like to see it come down a little bit. Let's find where the buyers were willing to step in. And that's where they were willing to step in. So if we can't hold this little range, then we're going to end up right around this pretty little range right here, which is just below that at about 374, 50, 375. That's where I think we're going to end up. I want to see a little bit of hold here, and then I'd love to see a little bounce down. And then I'd like to trade in this consolidation range a little bit. Because remember, we got to stay above 360. That's like our make or break. That's disaster. You buy puts if we're below it. But as long as we stay above it, I would argue that we're in a pretty healthy channel. We're in a good little range. We're going to make some money because there's going to be a shitload of opportunity. So that's what I'm looking for on the SPY. If we can hold and bounce there, and I think realistically our first test is 400. I mean, it's a psychological level. It just makes sense. So why wouldn't it go there? It would, and it will. And then once we're able to get above that, I think really just holding this 388, 387 is going to be great against the top of this range here. As you can see denoted on the chart, we've got a nice consolidated line right across. Buyers weren't able to push above, but sellers weren't able to push below back here. And then if we zoom out, we can see that that would afford us a massive gap fill opportunity to about 403, which is where I think we would end up. And now let's go back in time a little bit to see what we have on the chart here. Again, we got about 381 and then about 372. So I'm going to edit my original stance on that. I would call it 372 because, again, they're going to push below 375 because then that puts fear in the market and it screws you out of your position. Then they get it for cheaper and then it goes. So we're going to set that right there, 372. That's our main support we don't want to see break. And up there you go, confluence. It coincides with this range right here, and it's kind of functioned as resistance right here until we broke above with this strong move here. Let's go to the weekly though, because that makes more sense. So 357, 360. Now I call it 360. Below 360, we're going puts, and then we're coming down here to low 300s if we can't hold up. So if we do get a move up here again, we're going to test 400, and then we get above 403 and 407. I think we're in good shape, and then we can inevitably try and hopefully make a run, depending on what comes out as far as interest rates go, for 450. But realistically, do I think that's going to happen in the next couple weeks or months? No, it's not. Into Q3 of next year, I think we're going to have a lot of downward pressure. I think we're going to see the rates start to ease off a little bit, at which point then I think the buying cycle is going to continue. So realistically, what do I think is going to happen? I think we're going to be range bound here, if you can see my mouse on the chart, and I think we're going to dip on down, and we're going to bounce. We're going to bounce around on this long-term trend line, right? So we've bounced off this a few times. There's enough confluence here to say that this trend line absolutely makes sense. And I think realistically, we need to come down to here to get some healthy price action, at which point it bounces. You grab those long positions, baby. You shoot for the moon. Shoot 2 years out, 450. Boom, you're hitting. You're going to make 1,000%. It'll be amazing. It'll be exceptional. It'll be perfect. So the trade that I mentioned in the post, let's take a quick look. Apple. I posted the details in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, I'll put a little deal here for how you join. There you go. You can type that into your browser and get on it. For those of you that are, you've already seen the options trade, and you've seen the strikes that we're looking at. Here's the reason why I think it matters. Apple has some strength here. We got to clear this shit out. I don't even know why I'd put a black line on a chart. That's just lunacy. You can't even see it. Let's stretch her out a little bit. Let's get a little more action here. So we're looking at the weekly chart here. Apple has a ton of strength, right? Like Apple's just a strong chart, strong company. They completely not pivoted their business, but they built a core outside of simply products, as they built a lifestyle ecosystem that you want to be a part of. So we've definitely got resistance trending up here. It was the support. It turned around, and it's now the resistance. We broke above that range for a short period of time. Artificial. They tricked you. And then we sold off and found support here at about 137. But I think this is a key support. So we've got this is the top of the range here, bottom of the range here. I really like that. I love it. You know me. I love a good range bound play because we have the data to justify our decision and the support levels that we set. So let's call it 133.48, right? Like that's what we're going to call it. That's our support. So you know the strikes we bought, we got to stay above 138. That's what we have to do. Those break even at 138. So if we're above that even a little bit, that time decay is going to eat that contract alive, and we're just going to consistently make money. It should be 100% return as long as this can hold up. So you want to watch overall market action, because if the entire market tanks, it's going to drag it down with it. But I don't think that's going to happen this week. And remember, the expiration on that is the November 4th, meaning that one is going to pay out by the 4th. We want it to be above 138.10 on expiration. It expires worthless. You make 100% return on your investment because it is a credit spread. Now, if we see downward pressure, that theta decay protects us. That gives us a little bit of cushion, right? The contract loses value as time goes on simply because it's close to expiration, and the likelihood of it hitting is decreasing exponentially day by day. So as long as we stay above 140, we're making money on that thing no matter what. Even if Apple comes down, we're making money on that thing because of the theta decay. So you want to keep a close eye. But 140 is when I start to get nervous. If we break below about 140, what is it about? Let's zoom in a little more so we get a more accurate read here. 140.85. So go ahead and write that down. Put it in your little trading manual. 140.85. If we go below that, that's when we start to get nervous, and that's when you could still close the position, but you'll still be up. That's the beauty of this thing. You should still have a positive return on your scorecard if this is above 140.85 or so, right? Give or take the change. I think that's what we can look at here, and I think that's what we can count on as far as how this is going to play out and pan out. We wanted colored ones. That gives me a little better indication, right? We want to see true bottom. Yep. So right there. Yep. About 140.85. So that's your price to beat. You want to make sure you write that down. If you're trading Apple, 140.85. If we go below that, we're in a danger zone, because again, then our next step is touching about 138, which that's like true danger zone of, like, on that contract in particular, you're going to lose money if you continue to hold. You should be break even so you can get out of the trade. No muss, no fuss, no risk. I highly doubt Apple's going to fall 4% in one day. It is unlikely. And as long as it does not, we are making money on this trade no matter what. That's what we do here, people. We find low risk, high reward trades that make sense. And again, as we've talked about time and time again, those 3 to 7 day swings, those are going to be our bread and butter in the next couple of months. Those are going to be trades that make sense, that are efficient, and that make us money in a short period of time without taking the tons and tons of risk that you might take day trading. If you're an experienced day trader, go for it, because this is where the money's at. This is a good middle ground between long-term investing and day trading. It just fucking makes sense, okay? So that's what we're watching for on Apple. I think that this chart's going to hold again. We had the top of the range here, meaning it was resistance, right? And now it's functioning as support with a few bounces that are pretty critical. We did break it here, but again, we found a higher low on this last bounce down, which tells us that Apple has been pretty damn range bound for the last little while. Now it's a fairly wide range, but it is a range nonetheless. Now let's take a look at that. I think that's realistically what we're up against, right? I think we're going to hit that as resistance. So call that, 155. I don't think it's going to go up tomorrow to 155. I don't think over the next 2 days it's going to go up to 155. I think in the coming weeks, again, we're on the weekly chart here. So if we zoom back to the daily, we got a bit of time. Apple's moving about like 144, 148. So I guess it is moving $4. So realistically, in 2-3 days, if we saw strong bullish momentum, we could see that. But it's not what I want to see. I want to see a nice touchdown. I want to make sure that we're holding that support. Again, we identified about 140.85. That's the price to watch. Set that on your chart. Write it down if you took that alert. Just pay attention, right? If Apple opens green and runs and we're up 50%, I'm closing this out. I'm just going to take that money and run. And then if it comes down, we'll open it again. But I think this is going to be a beautiful trade. We got a little bit of short-term resistance here, about 152.50. And it looks like that has been true over here. And then it was support here, but then functioned as resistance here and has not been yet met, other than this test right here, meaning it was previously support and now it's become resistance. So that's your price to watch. If it breaks over that price, then you can expect for it to test 158, no problem, at which point that thing's expiring worthless. If usually with those options you're selling, you'll be up 99%. Close the damn thing. Don't just sit there and wait. It's not worth it. Close it for 2-3 cents, and you made a good bit of money. You sold it for 100. You bought it back for $1. That's a good trade. That means you had 99. You made $99, and the whole time you made money selling it. So that's what I think we're going to see on Apple. I think that's going to be a great trade. I think it's going to make a lot of sense. So make sure you keep a close eye on it, and we will make some money. I love y'all. I got to go to my child's football practice. Y'all stay blessed now, yeah.